At what point in your life are things starting to unravel a little bit in your personal life?
I would have to say it had to have been around the missing the show in '95.
Yeah.
Oh, the Indy 500 one.
Missing
when
the show
Penske
in
didn't make it.
'95 was the first real depression that I ever felt. Real, now. It didn't compare to my mom and dad getting a divorce, none of that, So, when I was the defending champion coming back to qualify and miss the show, that was
the worst thing that emotionally for
everything.
you. That was the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what'd you do?
I jumped into the drugs and alcohol. Is what I did. I self-medicated.
Yeah.
Is what I did.
And so that
marriage fell apart. And it was on its way. I'm not alone in my marriage when all this is going on. Shelley's right there toe to toe, and this is going on. And so, Shelley had a hard time. Shelley had a hard time with other people dying. Jeff Krosanoff, when he passed away. A few others there that Shelley had a hard time with it. Shelley, I don't think she ever really came to grips with it. It was, she was at the races when I first met her, but she wasn't a racer. She didn't grow up. That was like the first time she was ever at a dirt track, a sprint car race. Mm-hmm. So it was all new to her, and it was exciting and thrilling at first, but then when the ugly side of our business raises its head, it gets real serious real fast. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Shelley ever really got settled with it within herself. She for a wife to tell a race car driver, before the race, if you get put in a wheelchair today, I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
That's, I don't think a person is, and I'd kind of look at her and go, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right.
And so, it was, we were a team, we did stuff together. And so, missing the show at Indy affected her as much as it did me. Kind of thing. And the marriage was, it's just started, everything just started getting out of hand like it does.
Yeah.
So
this has been an ongoing struggle over the last more than a decade for you.
Sure.
You've been to rehab.
3 or 4 of them. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I have, my disease is substance use disorder. Is my disease, and I have it today.
Yeah.
And the proof I have that I have it today is I can't quit the cigarettes. I have not been able to quit smoking.
Right.
And because of that, I have substance use disorder. Mm-hmm. And so the other stuff I've been able to definitely. How should I say it? Keep it at bay.
Yeah.
Keep it where it's not hurting me. But and a lot of that, and really a lot of that is my newfound faith in Jesus. That I never grew up with that. I didn't go to church. My church was the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
And I wished that. When I was younger, that my dad went to church, but he didn't. Uncle Bobby didn't go to church. My mom did a little bit, but now she goes religiously, and she works at the church in the library on a daily basis. My mom really was the real big influence on me to believe in Jesus and be baptized. And since I've been doing that, I've had a whole new lease on life, and so it's coming back in spades. It really is, you know. So with Norma, I'm now just got married on September 30th, and she's a Christian, and you know, so all that's new, and I love it,
I'm curious if you could unpack this a little further. Explain the faith part, because do you feel like there's an accountability that you didn't have before? Is there a purpose for you now to live up to a standard? Is that it?
No, it's the exact opposite.
All right, explain that.
It's the exact opposite. I'm forgiven for my sins.
Yeah.
And before my baptism, I didn't think that I could ever be forgiven. I couldn't forgive myself
Right.
for the things that I done. And I done a lot of bad things under the influence, okay? And so hurt a lot of people, you know, friends and family. And, you know, so for me, you know, having faith in Jesus and no matter what, I'm forgiven. And that has actually helped me go on to want to be better than before. So
the book opens with you, I believe, in your living room in a very vivid and really troubling scene for the reader, and that is you contemplating taking your life.
yeah, I thought 95 was the worst time in my life. It turned out that on my 50th birthday in 2012 was the worst time in my life. Today, when I look back at my past,
Right.
that year of 2012 was, that was.
What got you there?
The drugs and alcohol, the behaviors, the not being able to forgive myself. I was divorcing my second wife. I had been seeing a girl in Albuquerque. She had broken up with me. Nobody wanted to hang with me whatsoever.
You
You
couldn't
know.
forgive yourself for what?
For everything that I
Just-
had done.
You
Yeah.
you knew the relationships you had ruined, and you knew the hurt you had caused on people.
And it kept going.
you
It
kept
kept
piling that
going.
up, and you're looking at this going,
Yeah.
I can't.
It kept going. Actually, another big hit for me was the first time I was arrested in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've had, because of the '89 thumbs up, you know, and Sportsman of the Year and stuff. I've had sons that are now grown up and have their own sons, and they would come to me and go, I've used that to help raise my son as far as sportsmanship, and so, you know, we love you for doing that and that sort of thing. When I got arrested in '02, I was ripped off of that pedestal.
Yeah.
In my mind, nobody wanted to be a part of this.
Sure.
You know, and so with me, it was how many kids have I destroyed that image? You know, and it has to go into the thousands. It has to, and so I couldn't get over that. Talking about forgiving myself. That's what it was. It was.
I got
It
you.
was hard. It
Yeah.
was, you know, and so.
On the backside of having those type of thoughts, like having suicidal thoughts and thinking about, you know, you'd be better off if you weren't here. You get on the backside of that. Were there moments of things are heading in the right direction? I mean, throughout the last 15 years, I know you made attempts to fix things. Have you been this close before to really having a grasp on everything?
No, not
even-
like now. No, I've never felt this way in my whole life.
Yeah.
And that's wanting to be better, wanting to live. Okay, and this may go back to, you know, doing what I did for a living, and watching, the ugly side of our business. Okay, and so I got married at such a young age, and wanted to have a boy, so that my dad's name would live past me. So I would then go have the freedom to put everything on the line in the IndyCar and the race car, everywhere, at all times, and know that my son's going to live on. My dad's name is going to live on, and so
you were thinking that because of having that son, you could do whatever it took in the race car, risk your being,
right,
and no matter what happened,
right. And so you get later on in life, and everything starts getting all twisted.
Did you have trouble with? Did any of this have anything to do with facing the end of your career? That you're racing, the realization that driving wasn't always going to be who you were. Did that play any role?
It could have, Dale. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I was ready to quit when I quit. When I got out of the car, I was ready to get out of the car. It was no longer fun for me anymore.
What time in your life was that? When did that happen? When did that?
04.
In 04, we were ready.
I was ready. I had an engineer tell me that I'm not going wide open, and I need to be going wide open, and I said,
I'm not going wide open.
I'm not, and I'm not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to do it because you say to do it.
Yeah.
So, and I just
was
wasn't
there did you feel pressure of everyone, myself included, that wanted Al Unser Jr. to race forever because he was Al Unser Jr.?
No.
Did you feel any of that?
I never felt any of that.
Yeah.
No.
Did you feel any? Did you feel a big pressure or a big weight for all the people that wanted you to get it right, to fix yourself? Like when we saw you struggle and stumble, did you feel a lot of like, I can't handle these expectations of everyone wanting me to write this?
Yeah, I think I know where you're going with this, and the time that I felt that whenever I got in trouble in the past publicly, the phone was silent. There was no friends calling me. It was silent.
Really?
Every time.
Whenever you would get arrested or anything public would happen, nobody was calling you saying, "Hey man, are you okay?" It was dead silence.
It was dead silent. Now, the last time I got in trouble, which was in May of 19 in Indianapolis, nothing but calls and prayers.
Why is that different? What changed?
I don't know what changed. It was happening, and I was going, wow, people actually care about me. Yeah. So
I find I'm not disagreeing with you or disbelieving you, but I find it so hard to believe that nobody reached out to you or not. I'm sure there was one or two, but I can't believe that they didn't come pouring in to try to say, "Hey, what can we do?"
No,
were you didn't. Too big? Were you too?
I don't know.
Were you too much on that pedestal so people didn't think that they could reach you or get to you?
I don't know. It may have happened. My dad tried helping me. In the 90s, Rick Mears tried helping me.
Yeah.
Roger tried helping me.
How so? How are these people helping you?
To, do you realize you have a problem?
They're talking to you. Then.
Is there anything that I can do to convince you to go get help?
Did those work? Did those work? Like you said, you've been in rehab 3 or 4 times.
So they didn't work. No.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah.
What did this journey do with the relationship of your kids? And the reason I ask is because you kind of went at length to describe what your approach to racing and life was, and that was to have your son and let the Unser name continue, so you could kind of run not careless, but run without caution. Let's just call it that, right? What did this do to the relationship with your kids then?
Anytime that you have both parents with drug and alcohol issues, it's damn hard on the children. Damn hard.
Did they forgive you?
I think they're getting there. I hope so, you know. But then there was a lot of nannies too. There was a lot of hidden from that with the children. Once they got older, then there was no hiding it from them. Mm-hmm. Okay, but when they were young, it was a lot of broken promises. You know, I'm going to go skiing with you tomorrow, and then you don't get out of bed, you know, and you don't take them skiing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff like that. It's hard.
It seems as though you're suggesting that it's a process that's still ongoing today as far as...
It is a process still ongoing today, especially with my daughters and my youngest son. My oldest son, not so much, but my daughters, yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
So have you forgiven yourself? That's ultimately, you keep talking about forgiveness, mm-hmm. and you talk about how that leads to your faith. But I think that if you were in the pits and contemplating taking your life because your words, I couldn't forgive myself for all the harm I'd done, have you forgiven yourself?
Absolutely.
And how did you get there?
Absolutely. By being baptized.
Okay.
And going to church and actually looking in someone else's eyes and asking them if they need help or what can I do for you today? You know, thinking about someone else other than myself.
Yeah.
And so the working with these kids in Future Star Racing, it does so much for me to be able to go out there and kind of talk about what I know, you know, and enjoy it and see the gratification on them to see how they're absorbing it and so on. So it's a great thing, and I've truly been blessed, you know. I mean, I had a guy from Australia. I was doing an interview yesterday, and he goes, "Do you feel that you've got a second chance on life right now?" And I said, "No, dude, I'm pushing 3 or 4 chances." Yeah. No, not a second. This is 3 or 4 chances.
If you like that conversation with Al Unser Jr., you ought to listen to the whole podcast. The Dale Jr. download is available on all major podcast platforms.